Okay, well, primarily we work with victims of homophobia and transphobia. And, oh, it's rushing through really fast. What we do with schools during History Month is a presentation with the children, which I'm going to run through quite quickly because it's got its own timing set up. This presentation was for assemblies in Camden schools, and we also do 20-minute workshops with year 8 and 9 as well. But this presentation was for children, year groups, a different assembly every day with a different year group. So, because, you know, if we teach children about homophobia and transphobia, hopefully there'll be less work for us to do supporting victims of homophobia, transphobia in the future. So, we simplified the ways of expressing what does LGBT mean. And I spoke to a teacher friend of mine to ask her for the definitions, so she helped me with those definitions. I tell them that, you know, LGBT people look like your sister, your mum, your cousin, your auntie. I talk to them about that's so gay, because, you know, we're all pretty fed up of that as a description. And that's what I do constantly in my workshops with children as well. Talk to them about the language that they use and how it alienates. So then we go on to some famous people, and this is great, this is a nice bit. I get to talk to them throughout this bit, all these pictures, they're shouting out the ones they know, they're going, oh my God, is Queen Latifah gay? You know, and they get really excited about these images. And there is an awful lot of these images. I think I've got something like 60 images here. They've seen them on TV, or they're historical figures, and we go through. I don't tell them who they are, I get them to work out who they are, and then if they ask, I'll tell them, you know. And it's really important that there is this diversity and this history to images of people that they're seeing. So there's a massive resource for them there immediately in looking at the history of LGBT people. Oh, I've run out of words now. I've caught up with the slides. This one was great. You know, you had 3 gay people in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here last year. So that worked really well with them. They all thought Gordon Brown was coming out when I first showed that one. You know, and George is a local boy. He's a Camden resident. That's where they get really excited. Queen Latifah. So we finish up with my favourite celebrity who came out, so just keep an eye out for her. That's kind of scary. This comes across, when I do it with schools, it's a 20-minute presentation, and in 20 minutes you can do an awful lot with challenging homophobia. It really takes very little for young people's minds to be opened. There we go. There's my favourite. So then, you know, we ask them, who can they identify and find out someone they like? And I talk to them about the history of where the word gay comes from. Good as you. Very simple. 1970s politics. So then, oh, where have these gone? What's happened to me presentation? These were fine when I sent them to you, Sue. These are news stories. Would you believe? It starts off with good news stories. It starts off with a story about Johanna Sigurðardóttir becoming Prime Minister of Iceland. It then goes on to a story about the youngest trans woman at the age of 16 having surgery. It then follows into stories of people being kicked to death. And all the stories are headlined and dated. And lesbians being beaten up in Oxford. And Michael Causer being murdered in Liverpool. And trans people being killed because of their gender. And the stories gradually cover the good ones. And I make the point that, you know, for every good story we see about gay people, we see far too many bad ones. So then we go through 40 plus years of LGBT rights. Of course, to them, that's a lifetime. It's more than a lifetime. It's longer than their parents have been around often. So we go through, this is for the older section now. I stop it there for the up to year 9. And from year 10 upwards, we go through the history and look at why it's been very important to have a civil rights movement for LGBT people. And so we go through right from 1967 up to 2008 on these pieces of legislation, on these things which have changed the way we can live our lives in the world today. And that is really important, again, to show young people that there is legislation, that we are being taken seriously, that our rights are entrenched in law, and that they know that this is a part of their civil rights history too. And that's about it. Thank you.